Hey there. Well done. You know, by clicking on this video, by watching stuff like this from other people, you're already making the most important first step that you have to make for yourself. You're admitting that things aren't all okay, as you tell other people, that things aren't all great, cheery, sunshines and rainbows, and that, first and foremost, is okay. You're under no obligation to be at your best, to be perfect every single day of the year. That's fine. No one is. No one, no matter how bright they seem, is ever going to be like that. And that's okay. It's incredibly brave, to be fair, that you're admitting it to yourself. Maybe even, if you're lucky enough to be in that kind of position, admitting it to other people as well. Asking friends or loved ones for help. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, tremendous thing. Well, you know, there are a few reasons why you might be feeling like this. Could just be that you're having a rough day, which is perfectly okay. Could be that you've had an argument not that long ago, maybe even just a few minutes ago, with someone that you care about over something that really wasn't worth arguing over, and you don't feel great about it. Chances are they probably don't feel all that great about it either. And that's okay. Or it could be something a little more serious than those. It could be just something that's been lingering in the back of your head for God knows how long. That one thought, or that one train of thought that you can't seem to shake no matter how hard you try. And that is also okay. You know, let's start by talking about what exactly I'm going to do. Well, most people will have heard advice. They'll have heard tips from their parents, from their teachers, from whoever it may be. But at the end of the day, the best place to get experience from is someone who's been through exactly the same things that you have. Someone who's experienced the same emotions, the same dark thoughts, the same unhappiness or anxiety that you have. And that's where I come in. I'm speaking to you not from the perspective of an adult, I guess. Well, someone a generation older than us. Someone who's, doing this for a job, say, like a therapist, or someone who doesn't really understand exactly what you're going through because of the way society is nowadays. That's fine. I'm probably about the same age that you are. I've experienced the same things that you have. And I am telling you that no matter how dark things seem, no matter how bad things seem, no matter how rough things seem, there is always a way out that's better for yourself, that's better for the people around you, something that gives you the brightest future, gives everyone hope, it gives you and everyone around you everything that they need, really. So we'll start by talking. Once we've got that out, well, I'll mention a few things about just the people who are having a bad day. That's okay. Everyone has bad days from time to time. You don't need to be at your best. That's the fact that you aren't at your best 24/7 is the reason it's called your best, not just your normal everyday life. It's because in those moments, something clicks within you, something that lets you help other people out, as I'm trying to help you now. And that's fine. But you're also going to have days when you're not at your best, and that is also fine. We all need days every now and again, or just a little bit of time to rest, to recharge, to just get back in terms with exactly who we are, what we're capable of, and the fact that we all need a little bit of rest from day to day. That's fine. If you're not feeling that great, there are always a few things you can do. You can just talk to people around you that you enjoy talking to. If you can't find anyone, just, send them a text. I'm sure you will have at least someone, one person probably, who will be more than happy to receive your text. I, to be fair myself, was surprised by how many people just wanted to talk. How many people had nothing going on, just wanted to talk for a bit. And were honestly just happy to receive a text from me, as happy as I was to receive a reply back from them. If you don't want to do that, or that isn't an option, you could always put something on to watch. Something funny, comedic is always good. Or maybe just a TV show that you're interested in, something that won't make you more stressed or more anxious, but something that you can just unwind, something that you can relax to. Music works, to be fair, for this as well. Or if you want, you can play a game, you can do something else along those lines that you enjoy. Like I'm doing right here, for example, actually. But, you know, so long as it's something that you can use to recharge, rest, and relax a little bit, it will do the trick, and you'll probably be back to your wonderfully happy, cheery, I'm sure, self in no time. You know, there's something important that everyone should know, to be fair, is that how you're feeling right now isn't permanent. Feelings, that's the thing about feelings, they never are, and they never should be permanent. They change. It's your brain telling you, and I guess the rest of your body, how to feel, how to act, what kind of things to expect at any given moment. If you're feeling anxious, you might be a little more tense, your muscles might not relax, you might be sort of a bit more wary of your surroundings, perhaps. If you're cheery or you're tired, you might not be as focused on those things. You might be a little bit more loose, I suppose is a good word for it. Just relaxed, just minding your own business and observing a little bit of the world around you. Nothing much, just doing your own little thing. And that's what feelings are. They're just, I suppose the best way of putting it is just you telling your body what to do, what to expect, and that's important. But no matter how you're feeling, it's never permanent. It never ever is permanent. For every good emotion you experience, there will be bad, and for every bad emotion experienced, there has to be good as well. It's how we judge them as good or bad. There has to be a little bit of both in everyone's lives, and right now you might be going through a bad phase, but that just means that sooner or later, almost certainly sooner though, you'll come across a good phase of your life. Maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months, maybe even longer, where you just aren't worried about anything, where you can just go wake up every morning cheery and happy and know that you've got a great day ahead of you. Everyone has great days ahead of them. Sooner or later, everyone will experience those things. But, you know, another thing to note is that it's way harder to waste time than you might expect. You know, you might think an argument was a wasted effort, waste of time. You might think that a relationship that maybe didn't quite go to plan, as it has a couple of times for me, for example. We might have thought it was a waste of time, but I learned, and you'll learn as well, eventually, that it isn't. It's way harder to waste time than you think. The only way to waste time would be to go through those things and then not learn or take anything from them. That's the most important thing. People say you learn something new every day, but, you know, sometimes people, I think, get that a little bit too focused on the academic sense about learning a new fun fact or a new little piece of trivia that you didn't know about before, but that's not the truth. The truth is you learn something about yourself, you learn something about the people, the world around you, that maybe you weren't expecting. I learned who was worth my time and who wasn't, and it might have been a couple of months of time, but at the end of the day, might not be a couple of months that I'm going to get back, but it might save me years of grief in the future. And I think that's worth it in my book. It's worth it to spend a bit of time to save a lot more. And that's what you will realize as well. No matter how many arguments might seem pointless, no matter how many conversations with random people you may have at parties, out and about, wherever it may be, that you think, God, I wish I hadn't started that, you're learning. You'll know that that person maybe isn't quite the same like you. You don't think the same way. maybe they just aren't a pleasant person to be around. And that's good. You're learning. You're learning something every day about that sort of stuff. You're learning exactly what you need to do when you see those kinds of people. And it's great. It's great for your awareness, and it shows you all the signs that you need to know about what kind of person someone really is, and it's a great thing to know and to experience. There's also, some people might be having a bad day, but not because they're just feeling down. They might have had an argument, as I mentioned earlier. That's okay. That is also okay. Everyone will feel certain ways about something. Everyone will experience certain things in a different way. Just pull up here a tall bit quickly. And that's okay. It isn't a waste of time, because you learn something about them and you learn something about yourself as well, how you handle conflicts in hopefully a safe environment. If you have arguments with your parents or your siblings, you know that they won't go out and they won't use it against you, and you will be able to make amends, hopefully. And it's great, but the arguments themselves are unpleasant, but, you know, best thing to do after an argument is to just give each other some space. This works for anyone, by the way, not just family, not just siblings, not just parents and their children. It works for any kind of relationship, friends, something more than that, whatever it may be. Give each other a bit of space, give each other a bit of time, just relax, just think for a little bit. Spend half an hour thinking about what just happened, why it happened, what you think about it, and then, you know, sometimes I myself have been in the wrong, and that is something that is one of our greatest strengths, is being able to admit that we are not perfect, that we can get things wrong, and being able to admit that and being able to go back on your word and say, hey, I'm sorry, I said this, it was out of line, or I didn't mean to say it, or whatever it may be in that moment. Once you've said that, once you've made amends, you'll realize that a lot of the time, people appreciate it more than you think. Words, you know, words do say something. That's kind of why we have them, you know. You know, it might seem like a waste of time, but it isn't. It almost never will be, because you learn. But the best thing to take away from arguments is that communication is key. Communication is always key. A lot of arguments are just started by a simple misunderstanding, an instruction that wasn't quite understood the way it was supposed to be understood. And one thing I will say is that in all of human history, not just the past year or the past 2 years or however long it may be, in all 6 or more thousand years of human history, there has never been a single conflict that couldn't have been resolved by 2 human beings sitting at a table, or two or more human beings sitting at a table and just having a calm discussion as equals about whatever was going on. Wars could have been resolved in talks, and they were. Almost every war in the world gets resolved by a peace treaty, a discussion between the parties that were involved, saying, hey, look, you did this, we're going to do this, and we're going to end whatever conflict has happened. And some are more successful than others, but we can do that in our own lives as well. And we should. One good discussion between human beings will often solve more than 1,000 arguments will, and that is an incredibly powerful thing to be aware of, an incredibly powerful thing to use as well, to make your own life and the lives of those around you better. There are also some people who, very unfortunately, may be suffering from more than just these things. You may be anxious, you may be nervous, you may be stuck dwelling on the past, and that's okay. that is more than okay. Because dwelling on the past is human nature. We do it. A lot of the time we overanalyze our mistakes or whatever happened in general, not just our mistakes, to avoid doing those things again. And a lot of the times, in my case, it's just ended up with a huge fear of rejection. I don't like speaking to people very often, but you know, you have to. You have to go to the shops. You have to sometimes ask for help finding an item or whatever it may be, or at work or at school or whatever you may be up to during your day. We have to speak to people, and that's fine as well. But for some people who are stuck dwelling on the past, it's very difficult. I dwell on the past a lot myself. I thought I had something with someone that really just wasn't there. I spent a lot of time that I thought originally I'd wasted chasing something that never came to be, as I'm sure many of you will have. But it's not a waste. It never was a waste. I learned about myself. I learned that I am, in fact, stronger than I realized. More mentally than physically. I'm more resilient. I'm more aware of my surroundings and my emotions than I ever thought I was, which is also a really important thing to be able to do, I suppose. That's a really important skill to have. Well, you know, it's more than an argument you'll forget about in a week's time. And there's the times you may be going through may be incredibly hard. They may be incredibly difficult for you. You might even think that the problems you're facing, the thoughts you're facing, are unsolvable. They'll never go away. But there's well, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. There's a quote from a novel, or part of a quote from a novel from around about 2016. I can't remember what it's called, but you probably will have heard it at some point before. Hard times create strong men and women. And it's true, they do. Tough times force you to adapt, they force you to think, they force you to solve problems one by one until eventually either you become strong enough to be able to deal with them every day no problem, or times become easier, and either way the problem will sort of not go away, but it will become manageable. Problems will almost never truly go away, but they can become more manageable. You can do more about them, you can do more around them. And that's all that really matters. And yes, these times may be tough, but you'll come out of this, and I say you will come out of this stronger. You will be tougher, you will be more resilient, you will have probably a better outlook on life as well. You will think differently about the people around you, about the things around you, and that is a glorious, glorious thing to do. Let's just get past this biker here quickly. Yeah, I mean, I dwell on the past. I really shouldn't. It's not good for me. But, you know, it's good that we do. We learn from our mistakes, but that should be it. Once you've learned from your mistakes, there's nothing more you can do. If you think that there's something you could have done, then take it as a learning opportunity. Whatever. History repeats itself. I was in one relationship that lasted quite a long time, and at one point I thought it was really going to go somewhere, but it didn't. And one day, I will hopefully find someone else like that. Someone else where I think things are going to end really, really well. And because I've taken, well, what I have from this first little bit here, from the first bit here that I've learned about myself and about what other people are like, hopefully it will end well, and I will be able to do something about it to have it end better. Or not end at all, rather, to have it grow into something beautiful, as all human beings should experience, at least once in their lives. Hopefully for a very, very long time. I mean, I might be rambling a bit here, but this is, it's from the heart. I have been through tough times. You are probably going through tough times right now. you will get out of this. No matter how bad things seem, there is a future for every single one of us, and it is brighter and more beautiful than we can ever imagine today. The glorious thing about the future is that we can change it. We can change it as we see fit. We can make it better for ourselves. We can make it better for the people around us as well, depending on how we choose to live our lives, the kind of conversations we choose to have, the kind of things we choose to do. And it all comes down to you. You, the person sitting behind the screen, listening to this, watching this. It all comes down to what you want to do. It might seem impossible, it might seem like an unsolvable challenge at first, but, you know, you start solving problems one by one by one by one, and then eventually you'll realize that you've solved enough problems. Oh, I'm just gonna have to skip a little bit of the traffic here. Eventually you'll realize that you solved enough problems to get yourself out of whatever you're dealing with. Or at least to be able to cope with it better. And that's all that really matters. To do enough to be able to solve things for yourself. Things might seem unsolvable, but that's because you're looking at them as one huge problem at once. Once you start breaking it down into little steps, doing them one by one, things might seem a little more manageable. Once you start doing those problems one by one by one, you might realize that your incredibly beautiful and bright future might be sooner than you realize. I mean, yeah, things can seem overwhelming, but they're only overwhelming if you let them be. Every single one of us has got more strength in us than we know, and every single one of us is bright and beautiful and intelligent and amazing in our own ways, and you should never, ever, ever forget that. Everyone has a past, everyone has a story. I have a story, you have a story, your family, every single member of your family will have a story. Every person you meet on the street, every person you wave at through the window of your car or bus or train or whatever it may be, every single person has been on this earth for years and years and years and years, and they have so many memories and experiences, as do you. But what's more incredible is that we all have futures. We all have months and years and years and years on this planet as well, and we can all do a huge amount with that. We can do more than you could ever imagine. I mean, if you're around my age, then you're just at the beginning of your life. I'm 17 now, I'm turning 18 in a few days, and I have my entire life ahead of me. You don't need to be a genius to know that that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And some people, I also worry sometimes about other things that I probably shouldn't, like I've said many times before. Sometimes I'll look at my friends, or I'll look at people I talk to, acquaintances, or I'll see stuff online about relationships, and I'll think, God, how I want to be in that kind of relationship. But then my fear of rejection and my fear of speaking to and meeting new people always held me back. Might hold you back as well. They say love will appear at the most random moments. I mean, how you might... Some people have quite literally bumped into the people that they've then married, that have then become the loves of their life, which is quite almost... it's quite funny in a way, almost, in a good way. But the important thing is to prepare yourself. You don't know when it will come, but when it does come, you should be ready for it. And I hated talking to people, I hated meeting new people, because I was always super worried about what they'd think of me, because I personally didn't think I looked all that good, and I still think I'm not brilliant, but, you know, you can always work on that. Yeah, when you're out and about on the streets, when you're going about somewhere, just doing your daily business, and a person walks past you, just try saying hello, good morning, good afternoon. Make a comment about the weather. You'd be surprised how many people are more than happy to just reply. Or, you know, even just something as simple as a nod of respect, or just smiling at someone. You'd be surprised how many people do the same back, and it's probably my favorite thing when I'm out and about now. And every single little nod, every single positive response you get back makes up for all the negativity you may have encountered so far. Which means that eventually, when the person that you need, the person that you need, not want, need for you, for your life, turns up, you'll be ready for it. That fear won't squander that opportunity. You will be able to take it with both hands, and you will be able to lead yourself and it to beautiful places. The most amazing places that any human being will ever experience. So yeah. Things are tough, but they won't always be. You will get through this. You will learn. You might be sad, but that's okay. You'll be able to look back on these moments and think, you know, I'm happy with where I've come. I'm happy with what I've managed to do with what I had. You know, sometimes life doesn't deal us the best hands, but we can still play as best as we can with the cards we've been dealt. Just because you've been dealt a bad hand doesn't mean that you should throw in a towel there and then. That's all that really matters. You fight for yourself. You fight for the people who look up to you. And there's one little quote as well that I got from a very, very close friend of mine. And it's very simple. It's 3 words. Hope never dies. No matter how bad things seem, there is always hope. There is always hope. Your friends and family might hope that you get better. You might hope that you get better. You might hope that you find someone, and that will always, always stay there. No one can take that away from you, no matter how hard they try. So you shouldn't take that hope away either. You should work on it, and you should make it a reality. And now, just depart this thing. Every single one of you, everyone who watches this, everyone who sees this, just everyone who's sent this, maybe even, you might send this to a friend if they just need a genuine human being to talk to them instead of some trained therapist who might not know what your situation is or might not understand what your situation is. Every single one of you are amazing people, all in your own ways. And never, ever forget that. You all have your own incredibly important roles on this earth. So, yeah. Just listen. And... just listen and learn. That's all you need to do in life.